My name is PJ Maloney, and I'm a member of the board of the Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation. We do have a lot of new beginnings, obviously. We just had an election on Tuesday. The mayor is about a year old in his job, so he's considered kind of new still. We have a new state representative. We'll have new representation in the state Senate. We have a new governor. So it's new beginnings for all of us on the political front, and also the Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation is involved in a new beginning of a different kind that Rick Swartz is going to explain in a few minutes. We're getting involved now in a project that is like none that we've ever been involved in before. It's a huge, huge project. I'm going to keep you in suspense for a little while because Rick is going to come up in a few minutes and explain more about that. Coming up, we have the Aggie Awards, and we have 4 women who are recipients of the award this year, women who have done tremendous work in a variety of areas for the benefit of the neighborhoods that we service.
I guess I did a decent enough job last year that they invited me back to go ahead and MC this year's 2022 Aggie Awards luncheon. So I'm back. Before we do anything else, today is Veterans Day. So we need to acknowledge our veterans that are in the room. If you're here today, we honor you. We thank you for your service. We pay you homage. The fact that you even made it here through the traffic, around the parade, the construction, and whatever else seems to be going on out there is a victory. So congratulations to you. This year's Voices of Garfield video presentation is brought to you by the world-renowned videographer and storyteller, Chris Ivy. Chris couldn't be here with us today because he's off doing something amazing in another country, somewhere, being great. So here's the video.
Hey everyone, my name is D.S. Kensel, proud Garfield resident and co-owner of Boom Concepts. I'm here to tell you about a few positive things that the Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation are doing in our neighborhood. First, they provide college and career readiness for young adults and those in our neighborhood who need connection to that most. Second is the Penn Avenue Arts and Business District, supporting organizations along the avenue like Boom Concepts. And lastly, housing for those who need it most, and in order to help support those who need just a simple roof over their head.
My name is Caden Kozak. I live on the north side in Spring Garden. CCRP has been really helpful in multiple ways. It gives me time to get out of the house and go to a different building and do something new. It also gives me advice on what to do in the future when I try to apply for colleges or stuff like that, and they give me info on where new colleges are and what the best programs are for me.
My name is Travell and I'm from Pittsburgh. CCRP has helped me deal with my anxiety and to help me keep focused and not worry too much and not be in my head too much. They helped me with my senior project, and my senior project was basically, it was about like what we were gonna try to get into after high school. And my project was about me like becoming an artist and like going to art school because I like to draw. The CCRP program, they also help high school kids like get jobs. They help with work, anything you need. It's like they got you. They have you. I would recommend anybody to join this program because it helped me a lot.
Keith Davis, and I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And a friend of mine, Miss Vicky from Homewood Brushton, suggested I come. The application, I was interviewing for South Fayette. I remember a job South Fayette physical education teacher, and they had to do the online thing, and I needed them. So I came in, I called them, and that's how it started. I've been a pain in the neck ever since. So it really helped me, you know, and I would come every Tuesday. We'd start Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm like, oh, P, man, am I doing the right thing, man? Am I applying? He said, man, you'll get there. It helped me get a job back with Pittsburgh Public School. It did. I recommend it to everybody.
Hi, I'm Rick Swartz. I'm Executive Director of the Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation. The Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation sometimes is described as the glue that holds all of these activities and programming and projects together.
Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation and Boom Concepts have been together in partnership for the past 8 years. We've been able to be mentored by the organization and by its leadership, and also help to contribute to things like community days, fun activities, and supply distribution in the neighborhood. We're thankful to have grown with the Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation and underneath them to help support Garfield and Pittsburgh as a region.
Hi, I'm Madeline Weiss,
And I'm Kwame Kinsel.
and we work on the Garfield Green Zone.
And so the Green Zone is 30 acres inside of the Garfield area of undeveloped, which will soon be developed land for permanent use of gardens and recreation.
The Green Zone is important for people who live in Garfield, as it would be for any neighborhood, because it's important to have outdoor space that is unobstructed by structures. So in doing this, you can have better stormwater management, improved air quality, lower temperatures, as well as increase your recreation opportunities, outdoor meeting spaces, all of these other opportunities that come with a preserved outdoor space. We really need people to get more involved with the Green Zone. This is a community-led effort, so it's only successful if people come out to volunteer and work on our actual projects. We also need help with fundraising all the time, and people to suggest their ideas if they have something that might sound cool on their street. So we really are looking for more people to get engaged in whatever way they can to promote green spaces in Garfield and lead to greater community benefits for everybody who lives here.
Being able to have a partnership through Boom Concepts with the Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation has been great for me professionally and personally. It allows us to have an impact in our neighborhood, become responsible neighbors, and learn what it means to be a grown-up. So we appreciate BGC for their mentorship and for helping us grow as individuals and business owners. So remember, please support the Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation because you're supporting your neighbor.
We're really pleased today to have our guest speaker, Celeste Smith, who is the Senior Program Officer at the Pittsburgh Foundation for Arts and Culture. I'm sure she's had interaction with many of the people here in the room today. You know, the Pittsburgh Foundation is really a foundation for all seasons and all reasons, unlike a lot of other foundations in town, where sometimes your hand gets caught in the door as they're slamming it, or they have a program officer who talks like the little church lady from Saturday Night Live. You know, you've spent like 15 minutes spilling your guts about what it is you need from the foundation, and the person just looks at you and says, "Oh, isn't that special?" So with the Pittsburgh Foundation, though, and I know that our friends with Boom Concepts would also agree, they have been there for many years helping with the revitalization of the Garfield residential area and the Penn Avenue Commercial District. They've also been leaders in advancing the black arts community here in Pittsburgh. Celeste herself has worked kind of on both sides of the room. In her previous job at One Hood Media, she helped build an organization, a nonprofit organization, from the ground up. And not an easy task to do, as we all know. So we have somebody at the Pittsburgh Foundation now who understands the world that we live in as nonprofits, and I know there are a fair number of nonprofits in the room today, and at least can help direct and guide us in ways that are different from perhaps how other foundations handle that interaction. I want to also acknowledge, before Celeste comes to the podium, the fact that this is a day for celebrating what everybody here in the room has contributed to the collective effort of building a stronger Pittsburgh, a more diverse Pittsburgh. And what's interesting is the many different ways that people have approached that task, that challenge. It can be something as simple as managing an apartment building for low-income senior citizens. We have Action Housing here in the room today. They're probably the reigning experts on how to manage housing that's affordable and rental. We also, have people in the room today who have been steady supporters of the Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation. We participate in a program called the Neighborhood Partnership Program through the state of Pennsylvania. And I would be very remiss if I let an occasion like this go by and not mention what it means to have banks like Dollar Bank, PNC Bank, and Key Bank as our current supporters in that program. Groups like BGC, we don't have large contracts that come through the county or from other government agencies. Like a lot of you, we have to scrounge and scrabble to build a budget each year, and we have to rely on fundraising events like the one today to help do that. So thank you for your indulgence in that effort today. And let me say that it's a pleasure to have Celeste come to the podium now, if she would.
Pittsburgh. I ain't even hear y'all. What y'all say? Look, Rick over here telling everybody I work at the Pittsburgh Foundation. Y'all know I'm gonna say something. It's gonna get me in trouble. I was trying to slide in here and just be the cultural leader. I am a wife. I am a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. I'm an artist. I'm an artist man. Yeah, I helped maybe, found something y'all might know as One Hood Beauty Hood. Senior program officer. But according to the program, I am a cultural leader and you shall address me as such. So I'm gonna be on my phone. Now it's not only taking selfies, that's only part of it. But the other part of it is really because my memory just balance and stuff, it just been gone. So sometimes I have to look at the notes. So, Nina said, we want you to talk about new beginnings. And I was like, what do you mean, talk about new beginnings? She's like, talk about new beginnings. She didn't give me no guardrails. And if y'all can't tell already, she should have gave me some guardrails. I have to say a disclaimer again. What you're going to hear from me is from Celeste, not the Pittsburgh Foundation, and not One Hood. New beginnings. So the first thing about new beginnings, and I thought about them, was celebrations. I love me some new stuff. Anybody else love new stuff? All right, I'm just saying, y'all got to call and respond to me because y'all just ate the itis about the city. I don't know what's about to happen. So, I was thinking about how during COVID, I bought all this new stuff. I know none of y'all did, but I bought a whole bunch of new stuff. And I was so happy when them leather bustiers came in. I was like, yes. Y'all, I ain't about to wear no leather bustier. I had a Zendaya moment. I am not Zendaya. But we be getting all excited about those new beginnings. Y'all know we do. We got some new people in political office. We are affirmed and we are hoping for a new beginning. We are hoping for transformations. I have to stay right here because I have a baby voice and y'all won't be able to hear me. So please forgive me. Because the women that we voted into office, our Summerlee, our Latasha Mays, they are not the status quo. right? They are the beginning of new beginnings in public office, fueled by the authenticity of grassroots organizing and realness. New beginnings, they signal transitions, whether in weather or in life. Like that first apartment that you got when you moved out your mom and them house, right? That new job that you was all excited about that you got. That new baby that Daryl and Anquinique got. We are so excited about our new beginnings, but we don't think about what it took to get to that new beginning. We just be excited about the new beginning. And then what is it going to take to keep what you just obtained? We don't think about that 9 months you was pregnant and how sick you was, about that epidural that only took on the left side because you waited too long. Them contractions coming every 5 minutes, and my husband trying to crack jokes like, nothing funny, B. We forgot about that. Why? Because that new beginning is sitting in our arms, and that's all that matters, right? So, now I'm not saying that it's just all about struggle and pain. It's both. Y'all know it, I know it. Because that new beginning, that about that baby, it was fun with that new beginning, making that baby, right? It has some good parts to it, right? But I want you to hold that, right? It's about the ebbs and the flows, the joy and the pain, the sunshine and rain. Hold that thought. Because we're about to talk about what it takes to get to these new beginnings, and then what it takes to get to the celebrations that we're having today. So that's what we're going to talk about. But maybe not, because I'd be easily distracted. I'm just saying, I asked Nina, I'm like, I got a broke toe, what we going to do? She said, I got you. She got me standing behind this podium. All right, so y'all see I talk a lot, so I want to have 3 points I want you to focus on. Then I'm going to go. 1, we all have our personalized work to do towards our collective liberation. You ain't Aggie, you are you. From what I hear about Miss Aggie, she was dope as hell, right? And we are still benefiting from her legacy. Thank you for giving up for Miss Aggie, because she left a whole blueprint. And in the words of Sean Carter, Miss Aggie did that, so hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that. Number 2, today we are celebrating folks that are about that life. There is no retirement plan for the ordained. Why are you looking at me like that? You better smile, thank you. There is no retirement plan for the ordained. I'm so glad Joseph is in this audience because he just makes me so happy. Our 4 honorees are a testament to that, because we are about to celebrate them for walking in the steps of Miss Aggie. Because guess what? They're going to eat that chicken or that salmon or the vegetarian plate, and they're going to get right back to it, like right back to it. There might be like a little wobble, but they're about to go back to work. And the last thing, and again, I'm saying all 3 because I talk way too much and they're going to bring the poll out, is that we cannot get to the new beginnings without unity. Period. So I want to talk a little bit about Miss Aggie. I didn't know her. So I had to Google Miss Aggie. I had to talk to Pamela. I had to talk to Jane Downey, Nicole, a bunch of people that knew Miss Aggie, because I can't get up here and talk about the Aggie Awards and not know, say, honor the person who the awards are named after. Now, see, if you're a woman and you get an award named after you, you have to have been dope. They don't just be giving this out. I mean, they don't, right? So you either got to be like a goddess or something, like Athena, right? Imaginary people, or somebody like Carol R. Brown that did some dope stuff. So when we're talking about Miss Aggie, and when I was reading about her, when I'm talking about people, she got a laundry list, like a CVS receipt list of accomplishments, right? We know that. But it was really the humanity about Miss Aggie that people kept bringing up. So I want to read to y'all like I haven't been reading all along, but I'm going to tell you about her humanity. She was funny. She was a badass. Somebody said she taught me about taking care of the neighborhood, the people. She cared about more than Penn Avenue. Aggie was up in them hills. Did I get that right? All right. She knew folks by name. She was front and center. She loved her family. She was always super caring and welcoming. She was always making connections, bringing everyone along with her. Did I forget anything? Y'all can shout it out. I'm not, I ain't a mic hog. Did you say she was a badass? I said she was a badass. About 5 people said she was a badass. So to our honorees, no pressure, y'all. I'm just saying. But that's the blueprint. She modeled a blending of strength and love that resulted in new beginnings. Now, let's talk a little bit. That's just the humanity piece. She facilitated millions of dollars of capital investment in underserved neighborhoods, created new mortgage programs for women, campaigned against predatory lending, led the charge that created the land reserve, worked on decriminalizing marijuana, fighting banks and redlining practices, predatory lending, battling policies that gave passes to absentee landlords and blight-led protests. Like, yo, this is why Ms. Aggie got a whole awards named after her, and that's just a little bit. Each one of our honorees today have mastered at least one of Ms. Aggie's attributes, some more. Her ways of being, her ways of existing. So I have to ask you all and myself, how about me? How about you? We all have our personalized work towards our collective liberation. What are we currently doing towards our collective liberation? Because we got the blueprint. Now what are we going to do with it? Number 2. There is no retirement plan for the ordained. Now, don't get it twisted. I am not about that grind till you die life. Please get you some rest. If you want to take a nap right now, I will join you. Right? But the whole point is that we got to be multi-generational movement. Right? So, you think about, man, we've been fighting, we've been marching, we've been doing this stuff for a long time. Yep, and we're going to keep doing it. Because why? Because we want to build a future. We keep working, and hopefully we teach and train people in our good habits, right? And again, we got the blueprint, so we know what some of those good habits can look like. Some of us have bad habits, and we don't want to pass those along, and we do. Y'all know we got Pittsburgh petty. Y'all know how we do. We have to learn to work alongside each other, passing on the good. Miss Aggie and the folks that are here are honoring the long game. Is it like noon, or y'all trying to tell me I have my 15 minutes? So let me read some more about Miss Aggie. Miss Aggie was one of the city's most tenacious and longest-serving advocates of community safety and social justice. She had 40-plus years on the ground. Where Miss Joanne at? She know a little something about that. Honorary Miss Joanne, would you? Okay, yeah, you know a little something about that, don't you, Miss Joanne? Consistent, nonprofit community development, social service, building community for generations to come, a vision for community that's both localized and broad. That's what people say about you, Miss Joanne. Kendra, you're a lifelong creative, using arts to connect, using education, and now tech. Honoring the iterative nature of life just by the way you move, chick. And understanding that we might need to use a few different tools to get where we need to get. And she loved her mama. And her mama is always here to support her. So let me tell y'all, sometimes we get frustrated and we feel like our work isn't noticed, and it hurts. But we got to check our motivation on our receipts because this work takes time. The civil rights movement took decades. The women's movement took almost 70 years, and then they had to bring it up because patriarchy is still out here doing the thing, right? Black Lives Matter, 400 centuries, just saying. The work takes time, and it takes us all working together, and we can't get to new beginnings, again, without unity, which was my third point. Now, the Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation called it community activism. Same difference as unity, right? What's dope about this squad of honorees is that not only do they see themselves as part of the community, but so do other people. Again, I talked to a lot of people in trying to prepare for this because obviously y'all know I can come up here and run my mouth. I really could do it easily. Ask my daughter, she'll tell you. She'll be like, shut up, Ma. But I wanted to hear about the people that we're honoring. See, because sometimes we don't see ourselves, and the uncertainty can sometimes slow us up. What they call that imposter syndrome, right? Now, I'm not saying you gotta be cocky like I just acted like I did with my dope-ass pants on. But we gotta see ourselves because this work that we have to do is something we gotta do. And we're not talking about being arrogant. See, because knowing who you are is not arrogance, it's submission to the divine. Oh, I got the Holy Ghost. Let me say that again. Knowing who you are is not arrogance, it's submission to the divine. Let the congregation say, amen. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? I'm just saying, think about it for a second. So, these honorees, they know who they are. I looked at these bios, they're not playing. AJ, where you at? Hey, girl, right there. AJ's bio literally says, confident that God was calling her to continue the work of building community. And a friend of hers, Johanna, who's at the table, said, she loves people and loves the earth, growing food alongside people with them in mind. The intentionality of community, of not just community of people. Did I do something to you? You okay? You all right with me? You like, girl, you got 10 minutes amount of time. Okay. I mean, just think about, we think about collaborating with people, but we don't think about collaborating with the earth. Right? Maybe we could be here and not have as much, climate mess going on if we did than we thought like you, AJ. Kristen, where you at? Y'all know the only person hey, Kristen. Okay. Interdisciplinary research focuses on how collaborative community design solutions can catalyze social and civic engagement. See, sometimes when we in academia or we're around people in academia, we like to worship at the altar of academia. Right? No, Kristen ain't doing that. She's realizing how you have to weave them all together, right? To get to where we need to be collectively. Kendra says, I am passionate about building community and cultivating greater equity through music, arts and culture, education, and technology. All of our honorees show us, by virtue of how they move through this life, that they are community-minded, and we bear witness. So, in conclusion, because Nina didn't give me no chair, I want to read something Pamela said. This is my conclusion. Because she wasn't up here long enough, I'm just saying. She said, if you work in this field, you have a little bit of Aggie in you. Staff members who have never met her have a little bit of Aggie in them. Community members who show up and want to donate or help in some small to large way have a little bit of Aggie in them. I see Aggie in everyone. So as we sit here honoring people who we admire and who have a little bit of Aggie in them, I beseech us all to look at ourselves and see if we too have a little bit of Aggie in us. And if we do, then like Miss Aggie and like our honorees, I ask us to please use it towards our collective liberation. We good with that? Yes. All right, well, my work is done. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Celeste. Just well-timed in many ways. We want to have you leave a little token of our appreciation for your coming to talk with us today and to have dinner with us. So in recognition of your exemplary work in championing policies and practices of cultural equality that empower a just, inclusive, and equitable Pittsburgh, we want to give you this small token of our appreciation for coming.
Okay, so 3 things. Number 1, I don't know how Celeste read that on that phone because I had a size like 15 font because number 1, I can't see. Number 2, I can't remember. So there you go. Number 2, I'm pretty sure Celeste just said everything that I'm supposed to say about the awardees. So really, I'm done. I'm just going to have Jarmel hand this over, and then I can go take a nap because I'm tired. And number 3, Celeste, I'm not speaking to you anymore. Because who knew you were taking notes? And I don't even remember saying all those things. But thank you very much. So I'm going to kind of break down because I crossed out half the things I was going to say about Aggie because Celeste took care of that for me. So whether you knew Aggie or not, you should really know her name. Like if you work in any community development, community activism, if you care about the neighborhood, affordable housing, education, employment, any of those things, you have to know her name. She helped to build Garfield and surrounding communities to where they are now. I've heard hundreds of stories about how far things have come, and a lot of that is owed to Aggie. I mean, she just worked so hard and so diligently, and I think I told Celeste this too, like she checked me, and I was like, ooh, okay, Rick was on vacation. It was the first year I started working at the BGC, and immediately, I think I was there for like a week, Rick decides to go on vacation. Now, if you understand anything about how the BGC works, you really can't leave a newbie in charge, not for a week. So I think I stayed out on lunch just a little too long. You know, it wasn't extravagant, but when I came back, Aggie's very tall and slim. She leaned over the desk and politely checked me to let me know that just because Rick Swartz was not there, I was still accountable to the allotted lunchtime. Okay? So there's one thing that all 4 awardees have in common, and that's faith. Faith in a higher power, faith in themselves, and faith in community. In a conversation with Dion Jones from Garfield Jubilee, he said something that really captured it for me, something the elders in the South used to say. You remember that, Dion? They made out of that good material. And that's what it is for all 4 of these awardees. And Aggie, it's in Aggie's honor that we recognize these 4 women today who embody the values that made Aggie Big Ag, because that's how a lot of us knew her. It's in Aggie's honor that we call their names today, that we pay tribute and acknowledge their work and selfless dedication to community. So are you ready? Ms. Joanne Monroe, hi. You keep it coming. I'll make sure I get this correct. So Garfield Jubilee was established in 1983 with a mission to strengthen the East End communities through faith. And for more than 20 years, 30 years, I can't count the years, Ms. Joanne Monroe has stood at the helm of the organization, standing on faith. That faith has birthed 136,000 affordable housing units, including the rehabilitation of 105 homes, the building of 2 townhouses, and working alongside Aggie to build another 40 of those units. She is one of the powerful forces behind the Garfield's strategic plan, developed Youth Build, an educational and job training program that supports young people, many of whom may not see a way out. But Ms. Monroe operates on faith, so there's always a way out. Under her leadership for the last 19 years, Garfield Jubilee has operated the Section 3 construction program, I had to make sure I said that right, which provides training and employment opportunities in construction and related fields to those most impacted by housing development. Joanne and her staff also provide home ownership education, counseling for first-time home buyers, credit repair, and financial literacy training. And if that's not enough, I was told that she walks 10 miles while taking meetings. She is the best friend to her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. She writes grants while she's cooking. And a little birdie told me that she makes the best sweet potato pies. So I'll be sitting outside your office the week of Thanksgiving with a fork. Renee, don't eat my pie. It is my privilege to present the 2022 Aggie Bros Award to Mrs. Joanne Monroe.
Thank you so much. I am truly honored to receive the Aggie Bros Award. And when I told someone I was receiving this award, they said, wow, Aggie was a powerhouse. And she was a powerhouse. Aggie was dynamic, determined, passionate, energetic at the age of 82, and she never took no for an answer. Now, how many of you have been in contact with Aggie when she asked for you to fund a project? And you may say no, but she said, oh, that's all right, I'll just contact you next year. And when she contacted you next year, it was not that project that she talked about, but 2 other projects. And our friend Rick, when we were planning the strategic plan for housing, and we would be talking about who we're going to contact, and Rick would say, no, don't contact that funder, whatever, they're not going to give us any money. And Aggie said, don't pay him any mind. I'll talk, and you write the grants, Joanne. So Aggie was never upset, but she was a true visionary in the Garfield community. She made significant changes to our community and other changes, and we are so grateful for that. And that's why it's so important to have leaders, strong leaders in our community that have that passion, that vision, that make positive changes in our community. Just like Garfield Jubilee, we're working with our young people so that they can become leaders in their communities, leaders in their home, leaders on their jobs. And we not only just provide leadership skills, but we provide occupational and educational training so that they can earn marketable credentials so they can be prepared for the world of work. And then we also provide a culture of hope and love for our young people. All of our young people, we feel, are successful. And we give them many, many chances to become successful. Not one chance, not 2 chances, not 3 chances, but as many chances as necessary to become successful. And we also work with young people that's in the juvenile justice system. And we can't ever forget them because they need that same chance and opportunity. So I'd just like to leave you with this quote. It is important for our society to remember that the youth with juvenile justice system are the most of the time, youth who simply haven't had the right mentors or supporters in their lives because of circumstances beyond their control, and we can't leave them behind. At this time, I'd like to recognize some of my family and friends and board of directors that's here, and our staff, people from our Workforce Development Committee, my church family, and I'd really like to thank my granddaughter, Renee, who is always beside me. Thank you for this award.
I'm back. Miss Kristen Hughes, hi. How are you? Feeling good? You enjoy your meal? Okay. So they say you never really know your neighbors until they decide to launch a community garden. And that's really true of Kristen Hughes in the Octopus Garden on South Aiken Avenue. Did you know there was an octopus garden on South Aiken Avenue? You will, if you didn't before, you will now. The garden was birthed in 2009 after a fire destroyed a home behind hers on Coral Street. Instead of seeing the burnt remnants of a building, Christians saw hope, new beginnings. See how that works? And the possibility of revitalizing that plot of land. While the first year of the garden was not that successful, the second year brought new life into the space in the form of an octopus. Octavia, a remnant herself from the 2006 Three Rivers Art Festival, brought a new vibe to the space. And from the moment she arrived, the garden began to blossom and bear fruit. The community rallied around Kristen and Octavia. Kristen had faith. She had the vision and the space. Octavia gave it new life, and together they empowered the community to sustain it. If you haven't been to the Octopus Garden, make sure you stop by for a visit or sign up to volunteer. There's signs that say tomatoes growing, like caution. There's a little cabinet for books for the young people. It's a neighborhood destination and was even featured on WQED TV as one of Rick Sabak's, did I say that right, Sabak? Because you know I'm not from here. 25 favorite places to visit in Pittsburgh. Miss Kristen Hughes.
Thank you very much. This is such an honor. I knew Aggie for several years, and she really inspired, I think, so many of us in our communities to do better and to look out for one another. And this is really wonderful, so thank you.
AJ. AJ learned, I had to take a breath on that one. AJ learned the impacts of agriculture in building community while serving in the Peace Corps in Rwanda. Garfield Community Farm is a partnership between Valley View Presbyterian Church and the Open Door Presbyterian Church, and AJ has been a guiding light for sustainable agriculture in the community since she joined the farm in 2014 with her youngest daughter, Jane, always in tow. AJ has managed to mobilize a brigade of volunteers, which I'm very jealous of, to revitalize a piece of Garfield that was basically left for dead. Not only did AJ and a small staff breathe life back into the land, they've shared it with the surrounding community. AJ and her team are always surveying the need for fresh produce in the neighborhood and will roll up with their mobile market anywhere you need, so please just let her know. She has a whole staff table here. If you need fresh vegetables in your area, please. The farm is always open, welcoming, and ready to teach. They hold church services in the open door space, and you can find just a ridiculous number of children up there any day of the week because they're always holding classes and teaching the kids how to grow their own vegetables and just be part of the land. Like, get your hands dirty, it's okay. AJ deserves, someone said, I think it was Madeline who wrote this, there she is. AJ deserves an award for her compassionate, skilled, and sustainable work in Garfield. She is always welcoming and accepting to anyone who might want to learn more about urban farming or gardening, even answering like my random questions about growing garlic in the middle of like a community town hall meeting. So a walk around the farm will show the passion for the work that they do, which is a reflection of the faith that she stands on and the commitment that AJ has in fostering a sustainable community. Miss AJ Monsma.
So, hi everybody. This is such an honor, thank you. Miss Joanne came up here and gave this beautiful speech, and I didn't prepare anything. I just planned to say thanks. I did want to recognize my team who's here today, who's at our table, my neighbor, my church community, who are helped make Garfield what it is. I moved into the neighborhood in 2016. So people like Miss Joanne, like Aggie, I stepped into the fruit of so many years of their work and got to benefit from so many years of their dedication and build on that. And I'm so thankful to have those mentors, those people to look to. I think I've met Aggie only twice, short, and it just felt like a whirlwind in both of those interactions. She was such a dynamic force in the couple times I've met her. Garfield Community Farm is a wonderful space, and as Pam said, it's a space open to neighbors, to kids, to anyone in the community who want to use that space in a way that brings them joy and fulfillment. And that is something we're committed to, is just being that community space. And I'm just thinking, we recently in Garfield lost 2 of our young men to gun violence a few weeks ago. One who was very connected to the church, and the farm, who was at the farm the day before he was shot and killed. And it's just a space for youth to gather at. And I'm thankful we have that, but I really want to build on that and make it a place, one of many places in Garfield where youth can feel heard, where they can see other options for their lives. And so I hope we can move towards that. Thank you everyone for your work towards that and other things for the neighborhood that are in this room today. And thank you again for this.
Dr. Kendra Ross. Now, Dr. Ross doesn't even have to be here with us. I hope you know that. Kendra is a music industry veteran. Doctor music industry veteran. There you go. She could be anywhere else. She could be somewhere collaborating with award-winning artist Talib Kweli, or working with the great Quincy Jones, or even in a studio with some big-time music producer working on her own album. But she's not. She's here. And even when she didn't live here, Kendra was always here. Or should I say Dr. Ross? Okay, just making sure, because some people are picky. Kendra was always here, lending her powerful voice to ensuring equity, whether in the arts or for cultural workers. In 2021, Kendra was appointed as the head of social impact at Duolingo, where she leads the community engagement and global philanthropic strategy. Kendra is tasked with ensuring that Duolingo is active in the community and that the needs of the community and the social causes of the Duolingo employees, of what they're passionate about, connect in meaningful ways, right? Because otherwise, what's the point? Kendra was on the front lines of cultural equity and social awareness long before her appointment at Duolingo. She has always been someone who listens, someone who teaches, someone who cares about the plight and struggles of the community, someone who makes room for others to shine, and someone who understands the importance of putting the right people together to achieve their desired goals. Her personal email signature, you didn't know I knew that, says cultural worker. Not leader, not boss, but worker. That's powerful. Kendra is in the trenches of engagement. She is in the trenches, ensuring that the community is heard. Kendra is a powerful voice who is more than deserving of the 2022 Aggie Bros Award.
Okay, so I really did not prepare a speech, but I just want to say, first of all, I'd love to see my sister Celeste up here shining. Love being in this room with so many people that I love. I feel very honored to be up here. I see myself as someone who is basically being charged with this award to do the work that that I need to set out to do, like Miss Joanne and the others on here, and of course, Aggie. I would feel really blessed. I'm not from Garfield, but Garfield means a lot to me. I went to Rogers when it was in Garfield, so I was 10 years old, rolled up that hill on Black Street every day. So Garfield means a lot to me, but Pittsburgh means a lot to me, and I count it a blessing to be able to represent the community in Duolingo, and I show up in Duolingo as a member of this community, when I say the community, I mean all of us of this region, trying to make it a better, more livable place for everyone and not just for certain people. So I feel really blessed to be here, and this is my charge, and now I'm gonna go do the work you think I'm doing already. All right.
Before we let you all go, PJ did allude to a project that's on the horizon. It involves the former synagogue on North Negley Avenue, the Rotunda building with the round dome. Some of you are already aware that there's planning going on with that project to make it a community asset again, as an arts and events center for the neighborhood and for the broader East End. We're going to be looking for people to populate a new board of directors called the Rotunda Collaborative Incorporated. I think Joanne Monroe has already said she'd be interested in serving on that board. We really want it to be a board of people from the community because that's the board that is going to manage and program that space after we succeed in raising about $10 million to repurpose that facility. So I was making those jokes earlier about foundation people. I'd appreciate it if you would just kind of keep that in the room. I mean, we've got Alex over here from the Highmark Health Foundation, and he has a pretty thick skin because he spent how many years on the Pittsburgh School Board? 12 years. So anybody who can survive 12 years on the city school board is somebody that is truly remarkable. So, but again, we're going to wrap this up now, and thank you all for coming and for being supportive not only of the BGC, but of the other groups and projects represented in this room. You all really deserve a bow. So again, thank you, and oh, I don't get to do that. Okay, we'll turn it back over to Pam.
This is what happens when you just give him a second to speak. Okay. This is my best friend, my wonder twin, Liberty. She's going to help me close out the show today. So first, let me thank Nina Gibbs. Where is my friend Nina Bell Gibbs? Nina is. She's our executive producer of the luncheon today. So we want to thank you for all your hard work in pulling this off, because we know the madness that happens. I'm thankful for you. The BGC is thankful for you. Thank you. Last but never least, the staff of the Bloomfield-Garfield Corporation. I know you are scattered within this room. None of the work that we do is done in a silo, right? We can't do it alone. Rick may want to, but he can't do it without us. We are not going anywhere, so thank you so much for your hard work and your dedication to the mission and just to Aggie, because that's really what it is. It's everything she put in place. We have to carry the torch and make it happen. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And from me and my little wonder twin, we're gonna get rings and everything. That's it, that's all. Stay dry, peace.